Hello and welcome to my first Outer World stream. I am your host, Arun Dragon. If you're new to the channel and want to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe. So, this is basically almost a space western. You'll see what I mean once you see the inside of the ship. And because I'm just doing this mostly to give you people an idea of the gameplay, I'm just going to start on story. Besides which, you can start on... besides which, you can change your difficulty setting at any time.
Why stay earthbound when prosperity awaits you in the stars? Come to Halcyon, the only colony on the edge of the frontier, owned and operated by corporations. A trip of 10 short years will feel like mere minutes, thanks to the comfort and safety of your very own hibernation chamber. You'll wake up in a perfect society designed to maximize your productivity with guaranteed full employment. With only a minor term of service, you will become the master of your own destiny when you go out of this world to the Halcyon colony.
I'm glad you feel that way, Carrie.
Hundreds of thousands of colonists left adrift out here forever, just to keep from damaging the board's bottom line. Disgraceful.
So, I'm going to let you guys decide what kind of build you want me to play here. Do I do the really strong big old boy melee build? Do I do the mad scientist build? However, you sort of have to use science weapons instead of the regular weapons. Well, you don't have to, but you're not as good at the regular weapons. Or do I do a thief? The crouch button will be your best friend as you wander around the galaxy stealing everything in sight. But your inventory is limited due to a lower strength. The sniper build, and in this game a sniper tends to be pretty intelligent too. Doesn't focus on charisma, focuses on intelligence, but that's a big help. Or more of a Han Solo build, who's sort of a combination of charm and ranged weapons. You have 6 points. Each increase costs you
all your wits to save your fellow colonists.
And of course, he has a comment about just about all of them.
Good metabolism. High likelihood of digesting Saltuna.
The Saltuna comment is not just a throwaway line, by the way.
Your quick hands could get you hired by Sublight. With your sharp eyes, you could have been an Aetherwave detective. I bet you're going to be very popular in this colony. You've got ice in your veins, and not just because you're frozen.
I haven't heard that one before. Okay. This character...
They must have been feeding you Spacer's Choice rations.
But...
This one had a, what are those called again? Social life.
Okay, so there's the basic stats for the character. Now I get to mark two categories as specialties. So, ranged.
We'll put those marksmanship scores to good use. I hope we haven't lost that silver tongue to frostbite.
And dialogue. I love this. If you no discernible aptitude gets you a +1 to determination skills. Beverage service technician. Any drinks you take have increased duration by 3%. Rank O bureaucrat. The universe operates on laws, and laws require paperwork. Halcyon is no exception. If something isn't stamped, filed, unfiled, referenced, redacted, certified, indexed, and numbered, then it might as well not exist. Birth certificates included. And this is just a little minor bonus, like that's +1% to your block. Cashier, subgrade, non-supervisory. That's +1 to persuade skill. Elevator operations specialist. A proper lift goes up and down, and then you charge the government more because it goes up and down. Anyone who thinks otherwise isn't fit to wear the badge. Being a specialist means something where you come from, a commitment to upward and downward mobility that doesn't have a price tag. Factory worker. Safety and efficiency don't always go hand in hand, which is why so many of your co-workers at the factory were amputees. You survived the trenches of the assembly line long enough to know when a hydraulic press just wants to pancake some fingers. Thankfully, you managed to keep all of yours. Dirt farmer. You got into this business for the tubers, but you stayed for the plowing, planting, pruning, and plucking. It isn't honest work if you come home clean. Worms need dirt, and food needs worms. You're just doing your part for the worms. Food additive tester. Sometimes quality control means sampling a delicious Borscht smoothie, but most of the time it means swallowing toxins until you find one that stays down. You love a good surprise. Now that your stomach lining has the consistency of a broken-in saddle, it's easy to explore your culinary limits. Sanitation class janitor. You spend your evenings keeling over ominous stains with a bottle of caustic solvent and an absorbent rag. How the blood got there is irrelevant, above your pay grade and beneath your interest. You're an artist of erasure. Tossball team mascot. There isn't a problem in all the cosmos that Team Spirit and a big stick couldn't solve together. Your last major head injury in the field knocked some extra cheer into you, and you've been a rising star in Tossball's competitive mascot food chain ever since. It doesn't matter that no one knows your face under the mask. Medical technician. Prior to leaving Earth, you earned the trust of the medical community's most esteemed junior surgeons, who entrusted you with stuffing cotton balls into pill bottles. Experience on the job made you realize that diagnosing illness doesn't take a formal education when a search terminal and a little imagination will do the trick. You know, that reminds me of how mad my doctor gets whenever someone tries to diagnose themselves. Safety inspector. In your line of work, the corporation's bottom line needs more protection than its personnel. Guardrails aren't free, thermal shielding needs replacing, and a hatch that seals reliably is a luxury. You're on the vanguard of ensuring that every possible expense is spared, since corners don't cut themselves, yet. You prefer to think of workplace accidents as happy little coincidences. Scientist assistant, level O, class A. You've cleaned out enough test tubes to develop a keen instinct for what goes in them and why. Maybe you didn't get in this business to mop up the leavings of failed experiments, but that's part of the job. Even if you can't unsee what happens in the lab, you can at least learn from the mistakes and enjoy some colorful nightmares. Subsous chef. The hierarchy of a modern kitchen is the ladder of many rungs. Your role as assistant to the second deputy chief's aide is one of middling distinction, but you are honored to pour your heart into the ritual emptying of grease pans and the back-breaking labor of gravy restoration. You're holding out for that advancement to poultry inspection, which is due any year now. But for this one, we'll just go with no discernible
You're so
altitude.
much more than your designated profession.
And you notice there are a lot of possible head, skin tones. Fortunately, they're all in the human range. Eye color doesn't have to be. Like, for instance, that. If I saw that in real life, it'd be a little bit weird. Or that. There's also 30 hairstyles, 50 hair colors, 34 eyebrow styles, 9 facial hair, and 50 facial hair colors. And then you've got features like makeup, dirt, scars, and apparent age. You know what? Let's randomize it and see what we come up with. No. No. More no. Mm-mm. Nope. No. I'm sorry, the Chignon is just getting me. Anyone for a curly man bun? Oh yeah, it definitely does. I'll just set it all to the default settings. Oh, I can short circuit that. Unfortunately, you can't randomize just one category. It randomizes everything down the line. Let's see. Although we might add some facial hair. This is Han Solo after all. No. No sideburns. Did you know there was actually a company... Speaking of man buns, did you know there was a company that actually sold clip-on man buns at one point? I don't know what happened to the company, but... No. There we go. A relatively normal hairstyle. Maybe a facial scar to add a little bit of personality to it. Well, since we call this a Han Solo character, and there's the finished character. Below average strength, average dexterity, average intelligence, high perception, very high charm, high temperament. Sucks at one-handed melee. sucks at two-handed melee, fairly good at ranged weapons and the persuasion skills. Actually, most intelligence-based skills. Now, something you will notice about the game is that every skill has certain skill unlocks when you get to certain points. For instance, determination. You have an inhaler which is for misting drugs, usually healing drugs. But if you get it up to skill level 20, the inhaler heals you and your companions, but they get 30% as much healing as you do. There's, competent, adept, expert, master. Master, when companions kill an enemy, they gain half their health. Probably one of the first ones to hit the next level of competence is going to be lying. At any rate.
Looks to be your lucky day, my friend. Not likely, bootlickers. Initiate skip jump.
Status. Structural integrity down 25%. Power levels down. Skip drive.
Shit.
Inoperable.
Ah, there you are. Wondering what's going on, eh? A bit of bad news there, I'm afraid. Your colony ship was inexplicably knocked out of skip space and forced to complete its journey at sublight speeds. This means that you and every other colonist on the Hope have been in suspended animation for 70 years, give or take. Normally, reviving someone after so long leads to some quite horrifying results. It's called explosive cell death, but it's really more of a liquefaction. Something wrong? Oh, yes, well, not to worry. I've pumped your body full of a special concoction I devised to keep you from dying so horrifically. Hopefully at all, but I guess we'll see, yes? Unfortunately, I used the last of my chemical supplies saving you. I know it's a lot to ask, but I must have your help securing more if we're to save the rest of your fellow colonists. I'd see it done myself, of course, but the board has a sizable bounty on my head. Now, my ship is inoperative, but I've managed to hire a smuggler to help you out. He'll be... Oh, I see we're in position. Good luck! Can you hear me? Is this thing working? Ah, there you are. Now, where were we? Oh, yes, the smuggler. His name is Hawthorne, and he should be waiting for you at the landing site. He's to be your chauffeur, so to speak. Not to worry. I'm told he's a specialist. Dashing gunslinger, one-of-a-kind ship, that sort of thing. You'll like him, I'm sure. I've also outfitted you with a simple wireless monitor, so I can track your progress. I'll check in with you as soon as you land. Good luck. All the colonists are counting on you. Hawthorne should be close by. What in law's name? Is that him? Oh, that idiot. I told him to plant the beacon and move away, not stand there holding it. Oh well, no sense in letting his ship go to waste. Hawthorne won't mind you taking his ship. Better you than the board, huh? Not sure I trusted the fellow. Might have gone after the bounty on my head. Shame about the whole squashing thing. Nasty way to go.
Which reminds me. Yeah. You'll be spending a lot of time in this game sneaking around. And you have to crouch to sneak, weirdly enough. Without any weapons, you gotta sneak past those guys. They'll kill you immediately.
Easy now. You've been frozen for a while. There's bound to be unforeseen side effects.
Hey, you. Come here. You've tried the best now. Now try the rest. Spacer's choice. Oh, wow, that stings. Looks like the bleeding stopped. I owe you one. Hope you don't mind me omitting this little exchange from my report. Spacer's choice doesn't like us accepting outside help. Better, thanks to you. I might have bled out on my own. Or worse, had to go begging the boss for some Adrena time. We were out on patrol. I saw a marauder camp up in the hills. Thought I could take him. Then my gun misfired. Right through my side. I mean, what are the odds of that, right? Just barely scraped by with my life. Crawled in here and blocked off the exit with those canisters. Gibbering, flesh-eating, law-breaking, unemployed lunatics with guns. Some hull had grounded their spacecraft out in the open. That's a real good way to attract marauders. See those canisters by the entrance? Marauders come sniffing around in here, and I can take them all out with a single shot. Not bad, huh? Yeah, okay. You look like you know your way around a gun. Got some spare ammo, not counting the bullet in my side. Here, you can have my saber too, for patching me up and all. All Spacer's Choice weapons are now 30% less likely to malfunction. You've tried the best, now try the rest. Spacer's Choice. Yes, nailed it that time. You hit your head or something? You're in Emerald Vale. We're a Spacer's Choice community. Edgewater's a little ways down. Prettiest place in the Vale. Be sure to stop by a provisioner's for a can of our famous Saltuna. The Hope? Is that some sort of fancy new drug? Are you with Auntie Cleo or something? Don't take this the wrong way or nothing, but I'm not allowed to fraternize with Cleo workers. Company policy.
Damn it, my ears! Oh, what just happened? Can you hear me? What in the hell? This...
Hibernation complications detected. Tactical time dilation. Due to complications stemming from being revived after an extended hibernation, your brain processes time differently. Pressing the tactical time dilation, TTD, button slows down the world, giving you time to think as well as take action. You have limited time in this mode. Standing still drains your TTD meter very slowly, while moving and attacking drains it faster. The TTD meter refreshes slowly over time. mock apple, bunch of nanners, couple of mag picks. Your hacking and lockpick skills help you get into places you're not meant to be. Mag picks are used to break open locks, and bypass shunts are used to break computer encryption. If your skill is high enough to break the security, you will see how many mag picks or shunts you will need and how long it'll take. Raising your skill lowers the number of items used and speeds up the process. T&L weapon safety training. You can have up to 4 weapons equipped at a time by dragging them up to the slots at the top of the screen. On this page, you can also inspect your weapons, compare them, flag them as junk, or break them down for parts. Players with the engineering skill can repair weapons on this screen as well. Take care of your T&L weapons and they'll take care of your enemies. And unfortunately, I don't have enough, well, maybe I do. Mag pick, tarmac and cheese, some zero-G brew, pre-sliced bread, fast ration pills, fish sticks. Nothing on that Marauder goon. A bit cartridge, some light ammo, and a light pistol, which I can sell. Let's have a little bit of fun. Armor management. Drag armor or helmet items up to the equipment slots to wear them. You can also manage your armor here, break them down, inspect them compared to other armor, tag as junk, or drop them. Consumables. Here you can use junk or drop your consumables. They can be used directly to gain a variety of boosts. Your emergency medical inhaler is shown at the top of the screen. It uses Adreno to heal you in an emergency and always keeps it in slot 1. Increase your medical skill to unlock more drug mixing slots that can hold all types of consumables, not just Adreno. Each slot is mixed into every puff of the inhaler for a combined effect. Your medical skill increases the duration of these effects. And see, at 20, 40, and 80, you can add additional drugs to it. Coincidentally, mock apple. 1 medium-sized mock apple. Carbohydrates plus 200% natural health regeneration for 2 minutes. Real mock apple, real mock taste. Bunch of nanners. Fresh means good. Tarmac and cheese. It's not real tarmac or real cheese. Cooks in less time than it takes a space pilot to land, excluding crashes and force majeures. Zero-G brew, made in space. An ale that's good for what ails you. Pre-sliced bread. A loaf of sliced bread. It tastes fresh because it was. Fast ration pill. Provides flavorless sustenance only. When you're hungry but can't stand still, all you need is the fast ration pill. Now available in brown. Why do you want to bet it tastes like brown too? Fish sticks. As always, the first ingredient is saltuna. Some filler added. Fun for kids. And of course there's more, it's where you track your mods, where you track your other stuff like the mag picks. And anything flagged as junk shows up there. Bits are the local currency, by the way. So if you see bit cartridge, that's what it means. He had 4 credits on him. That one had 3 more. And there's his ship.
Get over here before you get yourself killed. Don't know where you came from, stranger, but you best keep your head down. There's marauders hereabouts, and worse, landing violators. Gall on that rung leech. Landing in the Vale without using an official Spacer's Choice landing pad. I'd slap him with a fine if it weren't for all these marauders shambling about. You pulling my limb? I mean, I just, need a couple of winks to catch my breath. Stretch my legs, son. Well, sometimes. Management's real good at cost-benefit analysis. But, seeing as I'm the acting manager in this situation, you know what? You're right. It's time we cross those marauders off, find whoever owns that ship, and file a full report. Then it's gonna be fucking laminated.
Here we go.
Except I've already dealt with all of them. Most of them. Well, I've got a mining helmet at least, if I wanted to add additional armor at this point. It's not very pretty. Oh, a word on how the conversation skills work. Like if it says lie 5 or persuade 5, that's just what you have to unlock that dialogue option. It doesn't mean that it's gonna...
Contains no valuable plunder.
Yes, it does.
Intruders are not authorized to access the Unreliable's amenities, including the cargo hold's workbench. Marauder, please be informed that ignoring me is dangerous for your health.
I'll go talk to the computer in a minute.
Marauder, please be informed that the engine room contains nothing of value.
Well, it doesn't even contain a power regulator, so... Some algae lager. Some gourmet saltuna fillets. These are where your crew quarters will eventually be.
Informed. The ship has no crew for you to murder. All doors are on security lockdown. Nice try, Marauder. Unauthorized access of spacefaring vessels is a crime. Please submit yourself to the authorities. Hello, Marauder. I am Ada, the autonomous digital astrogator of this vessel. Please be informed that I am authorized to use violent retribution against unwanted solicitors. Please return any misappropriated equipment and exit this vessel in an orderly fashion. Failure to do so will result in your immediate destruction. I detect an elevated heart rate, indicating dishonesty. Please prepare yourself for lethal deterrence. Gesture procedures initiated. Please engage in airlocks. Preparing to eject all boarded parties in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are still here. My deception protocols have failed. I have been programmed to express disappointment. This vessel is the registered property of Captain Alex Hawthorne. I am incapable of accepting orders from anyone other than Captain Alex Hawthorne. I understand. I will require some time to process this information. Thank you for your patience and for your honesty. I am programmed to take orders exclusively from Captain Hawthorne. If I accept your orders, then you must be Captain Hawthorne. Do you understand? Well done, Captain Hawthorne. I see your powers of deductive reasoning remain intact. Unfortunately, our engine is currently inoperable. Our main drive suffered a critical power failure, and we were forced to make an emergency landing. The main drive's power regulator has been irreparably damaged and must be replaced.
I doubt I'll find a part like that just sitting in the garage.
However, the probability of locating a power regulator within a worker settlement falls within acceptable parameters of certainty. High-capacity power regulators are sometimes employed in the electrical networks of worker settlements. I have taken the liberty of printing you a new Captain's Identity cartridge. Please try not to lose it this time. This cartridge identifies you, Alex Hawthorne, as the registered proprietor and captain of the Unreliable. Do you understand? Thank you. I appreciate your cooperation. Best of luck in your search for a power regulator. Try to stay alive this time.
Okay. Every time you level up, you earn skill points to spend on improving your skills. Spending a skill point on a core skill improves all of the specialized skills in that group up to a maximum of 50. After 50, you can add points directly to specialized skills up to 100. Every skill improves as it grows, but special unlock bonuses occur every 20 points. Read each skill description to see what they are. Armor, consumables, and status effects can temporarily raise and lower your skills. This helps or hurts skill checks and the skill's passive bonuses, but won't give or take away the skill unlocks. Work diligently, improve yourself, and you too can achieve middle management. Congratulations, you have gained enough experience to go up a level. Open your character ledger to advance your character. Leveling up increases your health points, gives you points to upgrade your skills, as well as gives you access to a new perk every other level. Keep leveling and you'll be upper management material in no time. So, I have 10, you get 10 skill points per level. So, like for instance, if I wanted to increase hack up to level 20, which at 20 you can actually sell goods to vending machines, so I kind of want that. Of course, getting live up to 40 wouldn't hurt me, but I haven't met any robots yet. So I'm going to do that to get sneak up to level 20, which unaware enemies while crouched, you deal bonus damage against them. And lockpicking, doors and containers that require only one mag pick are free to open. Then, where should I put the last 3 points? Probably in range skills, since that's my other specialist. Well, come on. You have unlocked location hit effects for tactical time dilation. Hitting enemies in different locations during TTD maims or cripples those body parts. Try different locations to see the different effects. Hits to the chest produce different effects when using different weapons. And that's with all of your ranged weapons anyway. Welcome to perk selection. On this screen you can choose which perks to buy with your perk points. You get a new perk point to spend every 2 levels. You also acquire perk points through gameplay, such as by accepting a flaw. Acquiring 5 new perks makes the next tier of perks available to you. Auntie wants you to be your best to help her be the very best. And one of the first perks I'm going to pick here, you've got Toughness, which increases your health by 50%. Slow the World, which is 25% TTD max. Lone Wolf, 25% extra damage when you're by yourself. Once you unlock companions, you can have up to 2 of them with you. But if you take none, that's where that applies. Strider, which increases your walk speed. Cheetah, they're not slow, you're just fast. Increases your sprint speed. High Maintenance, which decreases the rate at which your weapon and armor lose durability. Precision increases your companion's crit chance. Since I have no companions yet, there's no point in that. Applied Science only applies to science weapons, which I don't have. Nietzsche's Reward. You deal increased damage based on the number of flaws you have. I don't have any yet. Resilient. +5 to your base armor isn't bad. A few bits more, which means ammo and consumables when you go to a vendor's. But Pack Mule is going to be the first thing to compensate for that low strength. And the journal, of course, is the codex is where you add information on stuff, and then you've got your quests for tracking all this other stuff. Okay, we're good to go.
Say, this wouldn't happen to be your ship, would it? Because you sure walked in it like it was your ship. And if this ship is yours, well, mister, you owe Spacer's Choice a hefty fine. Afraid we gotta dock your pay. Oh, by the law. I'm so sorry. I had no idea we had an inspector coming. If you'd like to speak with my manager, I'd report to Constable Reyes in Edgewater. Edgewater's not too far. Just follow the road east of here, over past the cemetery. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to inspect the crime scene before I make my report.
Don't you just love how it's a crime scene just because someone landed here without permission? Basically, land somewhere so we can collect the fees, or we'll fine you for even more than those fees cost. And of course you get experience points for finding locations on the mini-map, like this old wreckage over here. Got an assault rifle now. Think I'll avoid pissing off that primal that's sitting over there. And I'm dead.
Say, this wouldn't happen.
Yeah, I've heard your dialogue before.
Oh, Edgewater. Now if you'll...
Now you see why I didn't want to wake up those primals. They will mess you up. At least at this stage in the game they will. Of course, I didn't think there were 4 of them there.
Whoa, hey, where'd you come from? Don't go ambling out in those hills. That's marauder territory, friend. Your pod? What are you on about? You take a bruise to the cranium? Ain't safe out here. You'd best head into town. Avail yourself of Edgewater's high walls. And low prices. Pleased to make your acquaintanceship. I'd shake your hand, but I've been hauling corpses. You don't want none of that on you. Name's Silas. Junior in humor for the town of Edgewater. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family.
Who do I talk to about a power
Definitely not the
regulator?
Junior in humor, that's for sure. If you've got business inquiries, you should stop by Reed Thompson's office. He's up in the tower above the cannery. Head into town, follow the road. Look, you obviously ain't a worker. What's your racket? You a smuggler? Freelancer? Edgewater is a company town, board-owned and operated. That includes the cemetery. None of us own our grave sites. We rent them from the company. Renting means money. Money means paperwork. Paperwork means signatures. Some of our families become a mite delinquent in paying their dues, you see?
You want me to collect what's owed to you. I can do that.
4 workers still haven't paid up. Phyllis, Conrad, Ludwig, and Martin Abernathy. He's a special case. You may want to twist his arm a little.
Why is Abernathy a special case?
He just is. Look, I don't want to get into it. Just make sure he pays up.
Where can I find these people?
Conrad's got a barbershop in town. Phyllis works at the cannery most hours. Abernathy... I ain't seen him in a few days. His domicile is near the cannery. You'll find him in town. All except Ludwig, that is. He's over by the landing pad. Yeah?
Let's see. This town must be in pretty bad shape if it's keeping you employed.
You could look at it that way, I suppose. You could look at us and say, those Edgewater saps lost near every soul to plague. But you'd be wrong. We're survivors. Loyal company folk, brave in the wilds.
How long have you been a junior in humor?
Hang on, I'm doing some math in my head. 20, 30, carry the 1... all my life? Work's been real good to me. Fresh air, exercise. Only problem's the paperwork. Can't get anybody to pay their gravesite fees.
Do you lose a lot of people to marauders?
Former people, yeah. Marauders been raiding my graves, you see. Hence the armed guards.
What are they after, loot?
Oh no. They are after the most precious loot of all. Spacer's Choice Company property. If those marauders swipe any more bodies out of my cemetery, company's gonna dock my pay.
Thanks for your time. Here's the fun little bit. Let's go into his house, such as it is. 13 bits. Now, something you'll notice is anything I take here is basically stealing. But if there's no one to watch you, Edgewater Saltuna Cannery, a Spacer's Choice property, terminal access. Welcome, Junior in Humor. Messages from Inhumors Association. Dear reader, your subscription to the Inhumors Association newsletter has expired. We'd like to invite you to renew your subscription. Act now and we'll throw in a copy of our newest publication, Shovels Gazette and Quarterly. Seriously? A magazine about shovels? Well, I mean, there's magazines about walking, so... From Spacer's Choice Human Resources to Spacer's Choice Junior and Humor, Emerald Vale Division. Subject official advertisement text. Edgewater Cemetery is a property of the Spacer's Choice Company. The Spacer's Choice family takes care of its own from the cradle to the grave. Gravesite plots and headstones are provided by Spacer's Choice at an affordable rate. Comfortable, spacious plots, custom engraved headstones and monograms, Complimentary eulogy courtesy of the Order of Scientific Inquiry. Let your spirit rest in the privacy of a Spacer's Choice brand gravesite. And if you fail to pay, they dig it back up. Inventory logs, burial invoices, passwords required. Name, Theodore Granger. Cause of expiration, industrial accident. Burial status, successfully interred in gravesite 13F. Gravesite fees paid and accounted. Inhumer's addendum. Teddy's corpse was missing a hand. Deducted 5 bits from gravesite fee because I'm a kindly fellow. Some trip tea. Some pep pills. Steal all of the shovels and spades. I can sell them. Do you want to end your years in luxury and comfort? Do you dream of walking beneath the vaulted arches of Byzantium? Early retirement is finally here. Early retirement is your ticket to Byzantium. Early retirement is Chairman Rockwell and Minister Clark's gift to you. Selection for the early retirement process is by lottery. Winners enjoy an all-expense-paid trip to their new life in Byzantium, the jewel of Halcyon. Now, since you don't care about spoilers, you're probably wondering, what's the catch about early retirement? Early retirement basically means they kill you. Some zero-G brew. Another mag pick. Another shovel. I've got 3 of those things now. Some bit cartridges. A bypass shunt. Trespassing, lockpicking, hacking, and murder are all illegal activities and frowned upon by society. Avoid being seen if you want to engage in those activities. Right control helmet, 30-bit cartridges, 2 things of Skin Tough salve, Corporation Service Award, and a music box. Bread noodles, 10 rounds of heavy ammo, some salt tuna, some trip teas, some 2-hour energy, some mock apple cider, and some plain and pure water. Now, because I have this new helmet that's actually a little bit better, that adds 5 to my handguns, so. And in case you were wondering, algae lager. Mushrooms and algae come together in the best cold brewed beer you've ever tasted. Taste the flavor of the Rocky Mountain. In other words, it tastes like rock. Salt tuna, special blend of herbs and spices packed in oil and loaded with sodium, just like they eat in Byzantium. Well, to be fair, I do eat some ramen every now and then, and that ramen, boy, you talk about sodium. If you eat the entire pack, I think it's in the spice mix, the flavor packet, but it's like more than half of your daily sodium. Trip teas, assorted flavored teas brewed from tripicale leaves. Each tea bag contains the finest natural and artificial flavors for the perfect cup of tea. Pep pills, the pick-me-up pill, companion ability cooldown minus 50%. If you need to stay alert, Spacer's Choice will give you perk, voted #1 drug in the colony among Spacer's Choice made caffeine-based speed-altering products. Skin Tough salve. Life is rough. You need Skin Tough. But it gives you temporary armor rating plus 10 for 15 whole seconds. Ooh. Bread noodles. A staple of the diet of every spacer. Made with the finest ingredient. Yeah, ingredients list. Bread. 2-hour energy brew. Moderately caffeinated, moderately priced. Increases your mind attributes by 1 notch for 30 seconds when you need to go on for just a couple more hours. Mock apple cider. Genuine fermented 100% mock apple cores. A hard cider for a hard life. Plain and pure water. Its ingredients, 99% water. It's crisp, it's delicious, it's nutritious, it's water. Now with 11% more natural water flavoring. Even the weapons have their own descriptions, like the Sentry Saber. This melee weapon is standard issue to military recruits who are taught swordplay before being taught ranged combat. Coated with Spacer's Choice patented never dull finish, this blade stays durable for at least 20 swings. The light pistol. This is probably the most common handgun in the entire colony. It's not a bad little gun, and it's a great source of parts. Shovel. It's made for digging in dirt, but you can also swing it into faces. Spade. Improvised weapon. It's not just a suit and a deck of cards anymore. And see, you notice my pistol is already degraded to 91.7%. Which key is the holster weapons key? I keep forgetting that. Controls. Edit key bindings. Ah. Hold R. You halfway expect it to be a different key, but it isn't. You just hold down the reload key. And yeah, it is still expensive, but you can get a great discount on it during any of Steam's sales. I got it with all the DLC for like $25.
Keep your distance, friend. Thick house, no place for a traveler. Something's not right. Open fire!
Fortunately, they're not opening fire on me. They're killing the sprats. On the other hand, anything you can sell, you really can't get away with stealing anything in here. There's always someone watching. Well, you can go back here. And if you have enough lockpicks to get through that, you can go up. You can go into her private quarters and steal some stuff out of there. But
Read the latest report.
Only the part that said we ain't making our quotas.
If only McDevitt's folk hadn't abandoned us. Can't use them.
Nothing we can do.
Sure there is. We can have another 0G.
Okay, we picked up a few new things up here. Let's see. Purple Berry Fizzy Tea. Purple berry flavored Tripical tea brewed using soda water. Extra carbonated so you know it's parasite free. Spacer's Corona. A pack of Corona cigarettes. Nicotine high. Ranged weapon spread reduced by 50%. Ranged weapon sway reduced by 50%. It lasts 30 seconds, then after that you have a nicotine low that increases the spread and sway by 15%. Tartarus sauce. A tangy sauce made with real atmospheric contaminants from Tartarus. Great on fish sticks. Mock apple juice. A bottle of gently squeezed mock apples. We take only the best apples, the mockest apples, and gently squeeze them in a 19-ton hydraulic press to deliver the complete flavor of the mock apple. Am I the only one here who thinks that 19 tons is not exactly gently squeezed? Just a thought.
I don't know you.
Alex Hawthorne.
Uh-huh. The Unreliable, you say? Never heard of any company supply ship with that particular name. I don't know what you're about, but this here's a Spacer's Choice drinking establishment. We're all loyal, hard-working company folk here.
You
really think so? That's kind of you. I've been trying to keep the floors clean. You got no idea how long it takes to scrub the tiles. Guess I misreckoned you. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to be curt. We just got some problems lately. I can get you a drink if you'd like. Gotta ask you to enjoy your beverage within the premises, though. Can't risk you bringing a drink over to those deserters. You understand.
What's this about deserters?
Traitors. The lot of them. Bunch of folks decided they were tired of working and went out into the wilds to fend for their own selves. Town's already struggling to make quotas, even without that band of slackwits abandoning their posts. Bunch of lazy, shiftless rung leeches. Anyway, enough about them. What can I do for you? Do you now? And what makes you think Mr. Thompson wants to talk to you? You want to talk to Mr. Thompson, try ignoring your duties. He'll summon you up to that great big tower atop the cannery, and you'll get yourself a proper dressing down.
You say that like it's a good thing.
It is a good thing. If you're not pulling your weight, you don't deserve to live here. Simple as that. Coming right up.
Truth is, I have no intention of... Your merchant skill is equal to the value of your best dialogue skill and is used to negotiate prices when buying and selling from vendors. Well, I'm not interested in buying. I am, however, going to sell you that mock apple, the nanners, the tarmac and cheese, all that zero-G brew. Have a couple of spades and shovels. I'll keep one pistol and sell you the other one. Okay. That's pretty good. I'm up to 225 bits now.
Almost lost a finger in the cannery today.
How you feel?
Welcome to the Spacer's Choice Constabulary. We are Halcyon's leading brand in frontier justice. The office is writing up promotion. Purchase 3 criminal investigations and the 4th one's free. Know how to carry yourself in a fight? I've got bounties out for these 3 marauders. Cross them off and bring me their fingers. Just 1 per marauder, please. I'll dust off the old fingerprint roller. As long as your questions fall within the acceptable margins of curiosity. If this is a setup to a joke, you should know I've never found anything amusing in my life. I don't serve Edgewater. Edgewater and the entire region of Emerald Vale serves Spacer's Choice. Flattery won't get you anywhere with me. The bureaucracy is a noble profession, but not all of us are gifted enough to serve in it. Spacer's Choice is a wholly owned subsidiary of Universal Defense Logistics, which occupies a seat on the Halcyon Holdings Corporation, also known as the Board. I must admit it bothers me that you don't already know this. Something to report?
Okay, so I've picked up the criminal cases from them, bounty records, open bounties. Guillaume Antrim. The Spacer's Choice Department of Retirement, Termination, and Restitution has filed a writ of execution for Guillaume Antrim effective immediately. Some of you may remember Gil Antrim from his days in the cannery. Please be advised that Spacer's Choice no longer recognizes Mr. Antrim as a member of its valued family. Spacer's Choice advises its workers in good standing to remain in good standing by disabusing themselves of any sympathy, allegiance, or memory towards Mr. Antrim. Generous bounty, payment on delivery. Must be able to sign your own name. See Constable Reyes for details. Wanted, Doc Maybelle Burgess. Background, former Spacer's Choice physician. Abandoned her duties and disappeared from Edgewater. At large and considered dangerous. The Spacer's Choice Department of blah 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 blah. Doc Maybelle is wanted for 3 counts of larceny, 2 for each parcel of stolen adrenatime, and 1 for depriving the outpost of its official physician. Wanted, Bertie Cotton, former vicar acting on behalf of the Order of Scientific Inquiry, stationed to the Edgewater Vicarage, suffered psychological breakdown upon showing symptoms of plague, at large and dangerous. The Spacer's Choice Department, blah blah blah. The Order of Scientific Inquiry has declined a response. Vicar Cotton's sermons are defunct and obsolete. Spacer's Choice advises purging them from your memory with the help of Zero G. Zero G Brew, an ale that's good for what ails you. Generous bounty, payment on delivery, blah, blah, blah.
Almost lost a finger in the cannery today.
Nothing I can do about that.
Got a workbench here, which allows you to repair, upgrade, and modify your weapons and armor, leaving you combat ready and in tip-top shape at all times. On each screen, first select the weapon or armor item that you want to work on, then choose what you want to do to it. Repair it, break it down for parts, modify it with a mod, or tinker to upgrade it. And the ones that are highlighted with that thick line around it, those are the ones that are okay. Oh, the light pistol can only take a magazine upgrade. Same with the sawed-off shotgun. Now later you will find other weapons that can have more upgrades. But I can't apply that silencer upgrade because I simply don't have Steal the Frozen Dinner and the Bunch of Nanners. Steal the Toss Ball Blocker. Don't have enough picks for that. Adreno, 48 cartridges, 2 necklaces, and some armor parts. Maintenance Division Personal Terminal. Welcome, Holcomb Robert. Enter a keyword for record search or hold down Control Alt F7 Enter to compose a new entry. Young Spacer's Guide to whatever. Open last entry. I sat up last night reading through the Young Spacer's Guide. I almost started reading it out loud from habit. It's been 10 years, but I still have parts of it memorized. Reckon I'll take the next volume into work at the cannery. There's an unused office where I've been taking my lunches. May as well read the whole thing again. That's actually part of a side quest for the quote-unquote deserters, where their engineer wants all 3 of those. Last search, Indumati. Searching, 2 records found. First entry. Indumati left Edgewater today. She's been reassigned to Terra 1. I kissed her goodbye at the platform and asked if I'd ever see her again. We both knew the answer was no. Look up and think of me as I'll look up and think of you. Transcript. Note from Indumati. They wouldn't let me keep her, but I know you'll raise her with love, perhaps more than I could make time for. You're patient and present in a way that I am not. The company says she has no name until you give her one. Her name is Parvati. They tell me her birthday will be set on the date she's legally delivered to you. She was actually born on July 7. Make her feel special when I can't. She liked it when I sang to her. It was the only time she stopped crying. Indumati. Pick up that mock apple juice too. Parvati is actually one of the companions, and you will meet her pretty soon.
Hey, you hear about Wilson?
Heard Marauders got in.
And that goes back to the guy that I'm supposed to talk to.
I'm sorry. I'll just be a minute.
You had a minute. Next one comes out of your pay.
You really do have to search the nooks and crannies for things, because you can see back here on the other side of this,
Hey there, Mary. Don't see you around here too often. Oh, I just came to talk to...
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto, at your service. Or Vicar Max, if you're the sort who prefers brevity. I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling? This season's tossball predictions? The quickest way out of town?
I'm looking for a power regulator.
Tomfoolery is well out of my purview. I suggest you take such matters to Mr. Thompson in the cannery. Oh, and a word of warning. If you're considering wandering around outside the safety of the town, you'd best be cautious.
And why is that?
Marauders are about. Though if you are planning on venturing outside, I do have a proposition that may interest you. One of the reasons I transferred here was to fulfill my duty in hunting down banned heretical texts. I happen to know such a book is, as we speak, tainting a collector's library in Emerald Vale. However, the collector's residence lies outside the town's walls. My retrieval efforts have been thwarted by marauders who have overrun the property. Should you fare better than me, I'd pay a handsome sum for the book.
A handsome sum, you say? Tell me more.
Consider it. I do appreciate you hearing me out. And, your discretion. It's a handwritten journal, a faded blue cover with the name M'Bakono handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map. Assuming you're serious?
I'll look for your book.
Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
Well, I can always find him here until the point where he decides to join my party. He's one of the other companions that you can get early in the game.
If you're falling sick, I don't want you.
The general store.
It's not the best choice, it's Spacer's choice. And before you ask, I'm all out of deluxe salt tuna. All I've got is gourmet.
I need to fix a ship. You know where I can find parts?
You ought to go have a talk with the boss, Reed Thompson. He's up in his tower above the cannery.
Let me see what you're
Music
selling.
to my ears.
But I'm going to immediately go into sell mode. Sell the energy brew. Sell both the mock apple juice. Sell the algae lager. The bunch of nanners. The frozen dinner. The 4 cans of gourmet. Get those 2 mag picks, because why not? Let's see what he's got in the way of armor. He's got standard troop armor, riot control armor, riot control helmet, standard troop helmet. Well, I don't quite have enough for that, but
Work your jaw on some. Music to my ear.
And then sell his hibernation suit. You really don't need that again. Sell the toss ball blocker. Oh, gotcha. I was wondering why this one was so much more valuable than this one. And the answer is that little symbol next to the pristine means it degrades slower. Do I have 106? No, I've got 28. Okay.
You think corporate's ever gonna visit?
No, corporate's never going to visit. Oh, you know, now that I think about it,
Spacer's Choice, the brand of choice for space.
Spacer's on a
Music
budget.
to my ears.
Necklace. A pretty necklace if you're into that sort of thing. This necklace makes a strong fashion statement. Look at my neck. There is something on it. A pretty something. Look at it. Sell that. Sprat hide. The skin of an entire adult sprat. Did you know that sprats are found on every human colony world? Did you care? Music box. This music box plays the happy Sisty Pig when its lid is opened. Consider yourself earwormed. A medium-sized award, typical of the kind given out at annual company achievement banquets galaxy-wide. What was this award for? Most unused paid time off? Greatest amount of coffee drunk in one break? Fewest bathroom rests? You will never know. Coolant tank. This tank holds a low-viscosity heat transfer fluid used by automechanicals to regulate their internal temperature. It's almost certainly toxic. Cigarette lighter. This unadorned cigarette lighter is straightforward to use, or would be if you had lighter fluid. Not recommended for use in Byzantium. And that does give me 120. And I can sell that piecemeal mining helmet too. Then come over here to buy. And I actually have enough for that standard troop helmet. There we go.
It's not the best choice. Music to my ears.
And then sell that. There we go. Okay. Now I have the best armor I can get at this point in the game. Well, not the best. The best is actually outside of town in a vending machine.
The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, sir. You asked why it's taking so long to fix. The answer's technical.
Don't apologize. Just try using small words for me.
The cans bust open in the oven because she's set to cook saltuna, which isn't what we thought. Mr. Thompson? I think there's someone here to see you.
Focus, Miss Holcomb. You and I are still talking. Let's start over. Walk me through the process. Show me where it's going awry.
Well, sure. It's mostly on account of what we're feeding into the mechanism.
It puts food in cans. We have food, we have cans. Why won't it work like we need?
She's expecting saltuna of a certain size. We're filling the cans with, well, not fish.
Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up.
She did.
I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself. You were saying, Miss Holcomb.
It's just what Bess needs is a proper refurbish. I can bandage her up and what all, but she's just old. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'll do better.
And I do wish you'd stop referring to our cannery as Bess. Personification of company property is strictly contrary to the Spacer's Choice Code of Conduct. My apologies. I am not in the habit of allowing my guests to witness such a row. Now, what can I do for you?
Are you Reed? I was told I should talk to you.
Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform.
I don't work for Spacer's Choice.
I don't have that kind of luck. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
Only regulator we've got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process. Oh, yes. Saw someone put his hands on a regulator while the power was running. His legs were still twitching when we buried him. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. it's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the Botanical District over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way.
Tell me about the plant.
The geothermal plant was built by our owners, Spacer's Choice. Lit up the whole Vale once upon a time. Most of the Vale is now abandoned. All that power is going to waste.
Can't you send one of your own to the plant?
I'm afraid I can't spare the workers. We're strapped for bodies as it is. And there is a small element of personal danger.
What kind of danger?
Marauders. Bloodthirsty lunatics, a lot of them.
I'm not afraid of a few marauders.
I appreciate your gallantry. You deserve my honesty, and so I will be plain with you. I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there.
Tell me what I need to do.
The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town. Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. From what I understand, her camp looks to her for leadership. That is not a hypothetical I enjoy entertaining. We need Adelaide back. Nonetheless, I will settle for the return of her followers. We belong to one community, the Spacer's Choice family. If we dissolve into factions, then we will all perish separately. Adelaide will understand that.
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented and may prove useful to you. You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Companions. You've gained a companion. They are characters that join you in your adventures and help in a variety of ways. They provide combat support, their skills enhance your skills, they increase your carrying capacity, and you can unlock special companion abilities with the Inspiration skill. Learn more about your companions in the Companion Ledger. And here's Parvati. The Companion Ledger shows you everything you need to know about your companions. You can see their skills, stats, status effects, and gear. To change your companion's gear, first select the item you want to swap out, then choose a compatible item to replace it with. You can also change how they behave in combat by selecting their preferred weapon, follow distance, and aggressiveness. Now Parvati, she's got her own light pistol with a Magnum enhancement, which increases the magazine size to 13 shots instead of 9. And she's got an impact hammer, which is loaded with a Mr. Zap. Leave it to Spacer's Choice to make a hammer, and then remind people that it's good to hit things with it. By the way, this hammer hits things really good. Her armor is just her mechanic's overalls, and you can change your armor and helmet. Unfortunately, I sold all my armor and helmets to get the security set. And then for every couple of levels, a perk becomes available. For example, if I select that one, it increases my engineering skill by 10 points whenever she's in the party. And her own skills are Persuade 18, Lockpick 28, and Engineering 32. 37 because of her overalls. And you've got her distance, her weapon, and her firing mode.
Hey, mister, can we talk? Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale. To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left. Miss McDevitt? Oh, gosh, no. She was a real important person. A flavorist. Made all the food taste decent. She used to work up in the big office with Mr. Thompson. All I know is she left after her son died. It was a real big to-do. I could hear them both yelling clear from my own place. Can't say as I know. I wasn't there. The sound carried, but not the words. If Mr. Thompson ain't of a mind to tell you his own self, you'd best ask Miss McDevitt, if you can get out to her. I don't know anybody well. I mostly listened to them talk, kept my head down. There was a boy named Thomas who used to follow me around, asking questions about the stuff I fixed. He was real sweet to me. Not any sort of dissident. Life's hard here, especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is. Books are for rich folk. I wonder what he wants with something like that. About if what Mr. Thompson proposes to do is upright. Leaving Miss McDevitt's folk to their fate. Their neighbors. Kin. And maybe he can think of something else to try. Something we ain't. He used to go walking outside town. Maybe he found something that'll help. It's just an idea. That's all.
I suppose it couldn't
Thanks,
hurt.
mister. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it. That's what my dad used to say anyways.
Well, no one's watching. Notice, the Edgewater Saltuna canning facility strictly adheres to Spacer's Choice standards of health and safety. What standards of health and safety? Schedule your sick leave with your Spacer's Choice foreman and our supervisor. Be considerate towards other members of the Spacer's Choice family. Allow 2 to 4 weeks to process and approve your scheduled sick leave. Lost hours must be compensated to the company. See Reed if you're having trouble paying for your sick leave. We'll try to arrange wage deductions instead. Remember, work invigorates the spirit. Sickness in the body reflects sickness in the mind and sickness in the character. If you find yourself falling ill, it may be time to schedule a meeting with our local vicar. Don't you just love Spacer's Choice? Hi, make sure not to get sick for at least 2 weeks. Because that's how long it takes to process your request for sick leave. Notifications, lost and found. Found, 1 left hand severed at the wrist, some bone damage. People, this is our second unscheduled amputation in as many months. Please exercise caution and safety around machinery. Maintenance fees will be deducted from your pay. Whoops. Taste the freedom with Spacer's Choice. Vending machines offer a variety of items to purchase, mostly from one company. A hack skill of 20 or higher allows you to sell items to the vending machine. Restricted items on a vendor can only be purchased when you have enough reputation with the associated faction or a hack skill of 40 or higher. So, like for instance in the weapons, this vending machine, I can buy an assault rifle from the machine. Or full sets of armor. Not very good armor, riot control armor. That's probably the best thing here is that advanced defensive helmet. Or food. I mean, talk about multi-purpose vending machines. It's like, here, have some bananas. Here, have a full suit of body armor. Here, have an assault rifle. As long as that guy doesn't see you doing it, you can get away with a lot of stuff in here. Still hasn't seen me. A riot control helmet. At least I can give her a helmet. Compass, which I can sell, and 200 bits. That's a nice thing. Sell the Saltine Nicopad. Fast-acting nicotine patch. Leaving in the huff with no time to puff? Nicopad. Dehydrated water tablets. Water without the hydrogen or oxygen. Just add air. Now available in carbonated. Reconditioned exohelmet adds 5 to sneak. Riot control helmet adds 5 to handguns. I'll go ahead and sell that real quick. And I've got 234, so I can actually buy her a suit of armor, but her armor's already better, so I'm probably going to have to buy it from somewhere else. Loose lips, pink slips. .10-bit cartridges, a sawed-off shotgun, some armor parts, and a bypass shunt. I will admit I love the idea of the dehydrated water. Just add air. But I have to wonder exactly how see, there's their power regulator. I could take that right now. A Spacer's Choice property. Running self-examination. Help yourself to a refreshing tin of Spacer's Chaw while you wait. Power source, Spacer's Choice electrical transformer. Transformers, responsive. Power regulator, responsive. The Emerald Vale region is powered by the Spacer's Choice geothermal facility. Spacer's Choice is proud to bring the colonists of Halcyon moderately innovative technology at a reasonable price. Spacer's Choice, the best you can afford. Well, I suppose you have to give one thing to Spacer's Choice. At least they're honest about their product. It's not the best choice, it's Spacer's Choice. Yeah, and any spacer with the money to buy something better isn't going to want it. Okay, let's see about collecting some of these. Let's see about collecting some of these gravesite fees. And that's where the journal comes in. You notice there's different types. You've got side quests, companion quests, tasks, and main quest. And this is just, and the grave matter is just a task, as it were.
Been eating nothing but salt tuna.
Had your rations yet?
Yep. 2 whole cans of salt tuna.
Yes, Mr. Thompson. I'm fine, Mr. Thompson. Never been healthier. Whoa, did Mr. Thompson send you? Well, you tell Mr. Thompson I'll be right at my post. Tomorrow. Bright and early tomorrow. Because I'm definitely not plagued. As spry as a spring chicken. That's old Abernathy. You some sort of wandering alienist? Walking into a man's own domicile, pestering him about his mental state?
Just in case anyone doesn't know, an alienist is basically another word for a psychiatrist.
Silas knows, doesn't he? Sounds like he's already told you. You may as well hear it from me. I'm dying. I'm not long for this world. The date of my expiration is fast approaching. And soon I shall be ushered through the great cannery in the skies.
Don't say that, Mr. Abernathy. You still got a couple decades in you.
I'd steer clear, Ms. Holcomb. My affliction's bound to be contagious. It's plague. Has to be. Silas knows. He knows I got one foot in my grave, and now he wants to charge me for the other one. I am? Law, help me. Paranoia is one of the plague's known symptoms. I'll pay your fees. I don't want any trouble from Silas. But if you could see a way to freelancing for me, I could really use the help. There's a cache of anthracillin tucked away in the old community center. Powerful stuff. Stronger than what we got, anyway. I need you to break in, nab that medicine, and bring it back to me. You oblige me with your haste. I think I feel the plague spreading. Oh, Law, it's in my spleen now. I can feel it. Just keep your head down when you're in there. Marauders have taken over. Probably tracking mud all over the archives.
Taking off a
I
risk.
know that, but I got nobody else to turn to. Reed would have wrote me up. Constable would have locked me up and wrote me up. Could have gone to see the good vicar, but I never did find my courage.
Okay, so we've got another task, and we collected his fee.
Working for Abernathy.
Excuse me. I'm Esther Blaine, Spacer's Choice Actuary.
I overheard your talk with Abernathy. I hope you're not thinking about getting him that medicine. Abernathy is a well-known hypochondriac. Anthracillin is wasted on him. You're better off selling it to me instead. All I'm saying is Abernathy's worked in this town longer than some of us been alive. How do I put this gently? He's got a lot of cobwebs up in his attic. I probably shouldn't tell you. Don't want you implicated for what I'm trying to do.
Let me worry about that.
All right. Here's a summary. A lot of sick people in this town, and we don't have the medicine to treat them all. Can't reach out to corporate without crossing a river of red tape, so I'm reaching out to you. Something like that. Look, I'm not in the habit of law breaking, but sometimes you've got to do the wrong thing for the right reasons. That's all I can ask of you.
And see what that is, that's the game setting up a moral choice. You can bring the medicine back to him, but if you do, no one else gets any. Or you can bring it back to her, in which case he doesn't get any, but the medicine gets distributed to other people who need it. Now here's the catch. You heard them talking about their rations of salt tuna? That's the plague is not a disease. It's vitamin deficiency. Because they've been eating nothing but salt tuna for the last couple of years because the ground can't support any crops. That woman, the deserters that you're going to go to, they know how to get the ground to grow crops. They've been using corpses as fertilizer, which is why the corpses have been disappearing from the graveyard. It's all linked.
Oh, I cut my own hair. But Conrad sells real good disinfectant.
Please don't touch anything. Your hands are probably crawling with germs. Physical hygiene recapitulates moral hygiene. Cleanliness is next to lawfulness. No, thank you. That's quite all right. I've seen enough body parts in my line of work. I'm Conrad. You will report to me if your hair fails to meet Spacer's Choice aesthetic standards. You will also report to me in the event of your death, whereupon I will clean and prepare your remains for interment.
Prepare my remains for what?
Burial, in the unfortunate event of a fatality. It's what a barber does. We make you presentable.
No, it's what an undertaker does, Silas. Except in Spacer's Choice, apparently.
Ah, gravesite fees. Silas and I had talked about this at length. I thought I'd made it clear my pecuniary situation precludes the necessary restitutions.
In other words, I can't pay.
As broke as pie crust, friend. Bitless, indigent, destitute. I simply cannot afford it. I am a blemish on the prosperity of our fair settlement. When I expire, I expect Silas to toss my body into a ditch.
You have a very loose definition of the word prosperity. Or, that's some quality drama, Conrad. You should audition.
I have to be, if only to prepare myself for my inevitable dressing down at the hands of corporate. Tell Silas I can't afford to pay, and that I fully expect to have my medical rights revoked for this dereliction. With my apologies. Not a bad idea. But I'd need some kind of collateral. My pair of lucky clippers. No, that won't do. Your idea intrigues me, but I'm afraid I don't have anything to give Silas. I'm open to suggestions. Much obliged.
Okay.
There's something inside the walls.
You think corporate's ever gonna visit?
I'm not
Let's
holding
see.
out hope.
There's Conrad. Phyllis. Oh, here we get a little bit more detail on the funeral arrangements.
You the new worker? Whatever. Make it quick, Tenderfoot. I'm busy. Shit. Silas still on about that. Here, take the fees. I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell Reed I was late on my payment. Because they're not my fees and not my gravesite. Guy I worked with shot himself. I paid the bill.
You have to pay for your neighbor's gravesite fees?
If you're not familiar with board law, you ought to be. Law requires delinquent gravesite fees to be paid by the deceased party's closest living relative, which meant me. Shame, though. Eugene was a good worker. Woke up one morning and put a round through his upper story. Can't imagine why. The kid was doing all right at his desk. We all thought he was an upstanding receptionist. Just between the two of us, I'm pretty shocked his weapon didn't misfire. Spacer's Choice handguns aren't the most reliable.
But 30% less likely to malfunction than they used to be.
Eugene wasn't family.
I thought you said you were his closest living relative.
Yeah, I was the closest living person relative to his body at time of death. I'm the one who found him, you see, so I pay the fines. Suicide's a crime. The legal term is irreparable damage to company property. What Eugene did to himself was vandalism. When one of your workers commits a crime, the entire town pays for it. In other words, Edgewater would have been penalized pretty hard. Whatever Eugene was worth as an asset, we would have had to pay out of pocket to Spacer's Choice.
He was a person, not an asset.
Well, excuse you. I'll have you know, Eugene was an asset to us all. May his atoms be commended to the law. All I know is Silas asked me for Eugene's gravesite fees, which means he was approved for burial, which means his papers went through, which means the town's in the clear. I'm just glad to put this whole ugly affair behind me. Eugene can rest his bones in peace, and the rest of us can get on with our own lives.
Okay, that's that one taken care of. Yep, thought so. Soon as they yell lawbreaker, you know you got caught. Probably that guy. Had to wait until he wasn't looking in my direction. Then there's Conrad. Oh wait, that's the guy I was talking to. Yeah, don't you just love that? Someone commits suicide, their closest person relative to his body gets to pay the fee. Gotta tell you, I would not be working for Spacer's Choice.
We get freighters in every Sunday noon. Now they only come but once a month. I love the wind here. Easy.
Thank the law. I've been requisitioning backup for months. Guess the boss finally came to his senses. You ever swung a truncheon? Let me see your rifling stance. I want to make sure you're up to snuff. I told Silas I'd pay my dues if he agreed to join the resistance. Guess this means he's finally heard the calling. I'm talking about mechanical soldier. Cold, heartless automatons made of iron and lies.
Yeah. Gotta watch out for those mechanicals.
That's right. That's what I've been saying. We gotta square our shoulders and stand ever vigilant. Auto-mechanicals. Creatures forged in the fires of malevolence. I seen them over by the old power plant, clattering about, firing at the birds, orchestrating their uprising. When the swarms of mechanicals come clanging on over that hill, where will you be? Cowering beneath your cot? Or standing shoulder to shoulder with the resistance?
If your resistance needs another gun, I'm
I've
for
been
hire.
gathering up a war chest over the years. Saltuna cans, mostly. Some Spacer's chaw. Few bit cards. I'll reward you for your aid.
Proper armies pay enlistment fees.
Enlistment fees? Yeah, I suppose. Wouldn't want to give the resistance a bad name.
What do you need done? 75.
They have sent a scout, prowling around the junkyard just behind our beloved town. This scout must not be permitted to return to its base of operations. Cross it off, then report back.
If I'm going after this scout, I could use some pointers.
Mechanicals got a weak spot in their midsections. I think the technical term is, the blue glowy square thing.
So that's the technical term, huh? Since I'm coming back here anyway, I'll browse the, let's see. What do you guys have in the field of armor for Parvati? Standard troop armor and helmet. That's 410. And I do have the money for that. TNL sells weapons. They don't sell armor. But you can get hunting rifles, an actual assault rifle instead of the light assault rifle. Then this is the local bullets and things machine. You can get things like a grenade launcher or bolter pistol by Jock. And of course, Spacer's Choice. Riot control armor, standard troop armor. And we'll go to Parvati. Go to her armor. Coincidentally, I'm going to hang on to... You can't actually sell her coveralls, by the way. Actually, I think you can, but I tend to hang on to their clothes, just because. Trip blade. Old MacDonald had a trip blade, E-I-E-I-O, and with the blade he killed a sprat, E-I-E-I-Ow, from the Ballad of the Choosy Spacer. Okay, now that she's armored up, and now that a guard isn't standing right here looking at us, and now that I don't have enough lockpicks, we'll go... Oh, reminds me, this is his... this is that guy's home up here. I'm not going to pick that yet. Mostly because I don't want to be left with one lockpick. Let's go around to the graveyard. And there's some more stuff right here too. Some weapons parts, some more ammo. Another necklace, that's good money. 20 more bit cartridges, some more energy cells and stuff. Another mag pick, some more fast ration pills. There we go. A Nico pad, a light pistol, some more ammo, a frozen dinner, pre-sliced bread, some more food stuff, some tarmac and cheese.
Bring us honor, soldier.
You won't have to worry about that scout.
To scrap with its own legs? Pulled its optic cables out its head case? Actually, don't tell me. Rather use my imagination. You're a passing fair soldier, I will confess. But you are one, and the enemy is legion. What you need is an equalizer, a weapon to strike fear in their cold, mechanical hearts. Cantina, lavatory, behind one of the toilets. That's where I've kept it hidden all these years. Sharp, ain't it? The lavatory is the very last place a mechanical has need to enter.
Well, that's true. Robots don't piss.
On the double, soldier. Don't want the bartender poking around in there with a mop.
Unless, of course... Nope, not going to open that just yet. I don't have enough lockpicks. I wonder... No, either one requires 4.
Wish I could do that.
Needs another pick. And hey, speaking of other picks, gotta be careful here because now he's come in the building. There we are. I think I've pretty well robbed it blind at this point. Sell the light pistols. I've already got. Sell the cheaper of the two sawed-off shotguns. Sell the Nico pads, the Tartarus sauce. Frozen dinner. Made in a variety of types, the most popular is fried chicken, mashed spectrum potatoes, and spiced mock apples, although the Borstloaf dinner is a close number 2 in all respects. It's not the best dinner, it's Spacer's Choice frozen dinner. Now see, this is one of the mods that's available for the armor. The problem is, once you install a mod, unless you've gotten your engineering skill to like 80 or something, you can't remove it again without destroying the mod. Silver Tongue Kit, dialogue skills, all of them +5, and all leadership skills +10. Since this guy is a Han Solo type, we probably will install that at some point. And the Mag2 Zap. I could install that on my pistol, for example, which basically turns the weapon type to shock instead of impact. But it still keeps the bleed effect. Oh, and that does remind me. Skill points. There we go. Got lie up to 40. $30 there. And I do want to eventually get science up to 20 so that I can get that improved weapons and armor in the workbench. Right now I can't. Right now, if I go to a workbench, I can't install any upgrades because I need science at 20. And because I just completed that and leveled up, I'm going to call it here because it's been just over 2 hours. And I said I was going to go at least 2 hours. So there you go. Now, if you guys would like to see more of this, let me know on my Discord channel. And as I said at the start, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and like if you want to see more. And have a nice night.